You ever watch two people willfully misunderstand each other to the point that love turns into collateral damage? Because the interest of love isn't about romance. It's about what happens when two people are too caught up in their own circumstances to simply talk about their perspectives. And if you're looking for someone to communicate with you about whether a K-drama belongs on your watch list, go on and hit that subscribe button. Hi, I'm Casey Michelle, and for today's episode of What Did I Just Watch, we're dissecting the 16-episode drama that, on the surface, looks like a slow burn romance. But as the story progresses, you realize it's a crash and burn indictment of classism and misogyny wrapped in a not-so-cute K-drama package. And in this story, everybody can get it, from the top to the very bottom. The whole clash of overthinking starts when Ha Sang-soo and An Soo-young keep giving each other googly eyes every chance they get. She helps him at the start of his career, showing him the tricks that she learned the hard way since she didn't have the same formal banking education as everyone else. But that difference, it gives her this constant sense of not quite belonging. And the people with degrees make sure she feels it. Piling on menial tasks, stealing high-commission clients, classic workplace elitism. So when she finally lets her guard down and decides to let Sang-soo in, she makes it clear, don't play with my heart. And what does he do? Well, in his defense, everything that could go wrong does, almost like a curse. His drawer doesn't balance, his phone breaks, and by the time he gets to their meeting spot, she's gone. The next day, he tries to explain, but she's not hearing a word he's saying, because from her point of view, the truth was already right there in the window reflection. And from there, pettiness enters the chat as she shuts him out completely. So cue the cute security guard, Jung Jung-hyun, who's studying for the civil service exam to become a police officer. And to pour salt on the wound, she announces at a team dinner that she's interested in him. And Sang-soo? Oh, he's not gonna let that slide. Enter Park Mi-kyung, assistant manager with family connections, relaxed dress code privileges, and a front row seat to Sang-soo's heartbreak. They work together on a project, and she shoots her shot. Now, instead of being honest and saying, hey, I've got some unresolved feelings I'm working through, he decides to dive right in, hoping those emotional knots will somehow untangle themselves. Spoiler alert, they don't. But to be fair, none of these people are walking around drama-free. They're all dragging family baggage, career pressures, and class issues behind them. Parents who do too much or can't help, jobs that define their worth, and connections or lack thereof that dictate their limits. And Soo-young, she's got it worse than anyone. She's basically the yes woman for our favorite K-drama henchman, doing all the prep work for high-powered clients just to hand it off to Mi-kyung for credit. Then she gets used as the pretty face for client dinners until she says, nah, I'm not doing that anymore. And that's when her life at work really starts spiraling. Now, if you make it this far in the series, know this, it's gonna get worse. Every relationship turns into a tangled web of pride, guilt, and emotional blindness. You'll be sitting there like, do these people not see what's happening? Or do they just not care? Because every time Sang-soo and Soo-young share one of those loaded glances, Jung-hyun and Mi-kyung are right there, pretending not to notice. But they knew exactly what they were getting into. They just hoped to be the exception. And when the truth became undeniable, they tried to play the victims. It's like watching your friends make one horrible decision after another, digging the hole deeper and deeper instead of figuring out how to climb out. By the time you reach the ending, you'll be emotionally exhausted and maybe a little angry. You'll hope for redemption, and whether you get it really depends on your definition of redemption. For me, this entire drama can be summed up in one simple line.
See, now what we have here is a failure to communicate.
So if poor communication, bad decisions, awful bosses, and repetitive scenes bother you, skip this one. Because they love a good remix. Same scene, slightly longer version, rinse and repeat for 16 episodes. But if you've got some pent-up frustration that you need to release, this is the perfect emotional punching bag. Because you will yell, you will shake your fist, and you will question everyone's life choices. So tell me, what did you think? Did you find any of these characters relatable? Was it a refreshing break from the usual slow burn romance formula, or just a frustrating mess that you couldn't look away from? And if you haven't watched it yet, does this sound like your kind of chaos, or are you steering clear of this emotional train wreck? And if messy love triangles and class tension are your thing, check out my review of Now We Are Breaking Up. A different kind of messy, but still heavy on the classism and heartbreak. And as always, if you like this kind of content and want to see more of it, you know what you gotta do.